Thank you everyone for joining us today at India's biggest marketplace and carts Conclave 2023.
The second edition of India's biggest confluence of marketplaces and carts was organized by Unicommerce. The pioneering conclave brought together business leaders and entrepreneurs from various marketplaces, D2C brands and retail companies who shared their insights on the key opportunities and challenges in the brand building process, streamlining operations and leveraging technology to expand the business in the rapidly evolving e-commerce ecosystem. The second edition of the conclave commenced with a lamp lighting ceremony by dignitaries from the e-commerce industry. The inaugural ceremony was followed by a welcome address by Kapil Makhija, CEO of Unicommerce, who talked about the vision behind organizing India's biggest e-commerce and website-focused conclave.
हम लोग इस एरा में है जहाँ पे रिटेल का एक नया रुख देख रहे हैं हम लोग, जहाँ पे ब्रांड्स और कम्युनिटीज़ ऑनलाइन बनती हैं और फिर वो अपनी ऑफलाइन की जर्नी स्टार्ट करती हैं टू बिकम हाउस होल्ड नेम्स. These last 3 years of the pandemic and post-pandemic era have taught us that online and offline दोनों को साथ ही रहना पड़ेगा and brands have to bank on strengths of each of these areas. Ultimately अब हम देख रहे हैं एरा जहाँ पे ओमनी चैनल ब्रांड्स बन रही हैं एंड इसलिए हमारा विजन विद दिस कॉन्क्लेव इज़ टू प्रोवाइड अ डेमोक्रेटिक प्लेटफॉर्म सो दैट ब्रांड्स और सेलर्स को राइट नॉलेज मिले, राइट प्रोसेसेस समझ में आए जिसके थ्रू वो अपना वेबसाइट और मार्केट प्लेस के बिजनेस बड़ा बना सकें. मार्केट प्लेसेस और कार्ड्स जो हैं दे आर द मॉडर्न टूल्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. अगर उनको सही तरीके से यूज़ करा जाए तो एक बहुत स्केलेबल ऑनलाइन बिजनेस बन सकता है. That through this ecosystem we are able to help each other and make sure that overall e-commerce ecosystem moves forward. And it is a firm belief that the ecosystem can move forward only when हम सब साथ मिलके काम करें. Whether it's the service providers, brand, marketplace, carts, all of us have to work together to make sure that this moves forward.
The welcome address was followed by 2 stimulating fireside chats titled Building Global Brands in India and Building WhatsApp Commerce for Bharat. How can sellers leverage the platform? That shed light on how to build a successful brand and leverage WhatsApp e-commerce to grow and scale your business.
The first thing that we were very clear of, जो कि हम शुरू से मानते हैं कि we are a company which is in the business of building brands. And brands are not built in D2C or e-commerce or in offline. Brands are built in the minds of consumers. लोगों के दिमाग में एक आइडिया है. इसको अगर आप डिफाइन करने की कोशिश करो कि ब्रांड क्या होता है, ब्रांड इज अ आइडिया, राइट? इट्स अ आइडिया विच स्टैंड्स फॉर a purpose. It's an idea which stands for certain functionalities. It's an idea which stands for promise of consistency and quality. It's an idea which stands for trust. And ideas लोगों के दिमाग में होते हैं. तो आपको जो ब्रांड बिल्ड करना है वो लोगों के दिमाग में बिल्ड करना है. And hence the first step to building a brand is marketing, which is spreading the word around your brand. Disruptive sort of environment where e-commerce, internet was spreading really well. And there was a newfound need for consumer-led innovation, long-tail innovation. And I'll give you an example. When we'd started as a baby care brand. And मतलब हमारे board of directors से पहले actually हमारा board of moms होता था. And we used to be very, very passionately talk to them, try and understand their problems. And बड़ी छोटी छोटी चीज़ों के बारे में बताते थे वो हमें. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल वो बताते थे कि यार बच्चे को कॉलिक होता है, डाइजेशन होता है, मेरे को बिकॉज वो 3 to 6 months का है एंड only mother's milk is what I want to give him, and I don't want to give her gripe water at this point of time. And तो मैं घर पे हल्दी और तेल मलती हूँ उसकी टमी पे, and पर वो कई बार रात को 2 बजे उठ के जब गर्म करना पड़ता है और वो लगाना पड़ता है, it's just too painful, right?
Sellers want to know exactly how do we enable sellers to reach out to this 400 million audience. ये 40 करोड़ का जो audience है, how do we make sure that, and what are the entry points, for example, right? So as Meta, as Facebook, as WhatsApp, what are your key sort of points to the sellers as to how to acquire an audience on WhatsApp?
The largest e-commerce platform in this country, they would work with, or they would have access to about 100 or 150 million users at best.
Yeah.
But if you look at the real Bharat, the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, that's where their audience starts from, right? And it makes a lot more sense for them to reach out to these users. So within WhatsApp, the WhatsApp Business API, which is meant for businesses of all shapes and sizes, there's a product called as click to WhatsApp ad. Now it's pretty interesting, right? I'm sure a lot of you would have used ads to grow your business. You would have run ads on Google. You would have run ads on our family of products on Facebook, Instagram. The problem with a conventional ad platform is that while you'll still be able to use it for retargeting, you don't really know that who your audience is. For instance, they know that somebody sitting in Lajpat Nagar is trying to buy this product and he could be the right prospect, but they don't know my phone number unless they explicitly ask me for that. And I am not comfortable sharing this. And that is where this product comes in.
A masterclass by renowned e-commerce expert and Senior Vice President Product Management of Shiprocket, Praful Poddar, was aimed at educating the audience on how to take their shopping experience from functional to exceptional. Apart from providing an opportunity for business leaders from the e-commerce industry to exchange and share ideas on their game-changing brand stories, the Conclave also featured a host of panel discussions on a gamut of insightful topics. The first panel focused on the ways to launch a product and scale up on marketplaces.
Many brands are entering the marketplaces. To be honest, the D2C arena is growing. The brands are growing. They want to reach more audiences. This is the reason they are launching their brands at various marketplaces. So is it easy? Is it good? It is bad? How it is for the brands and from the marketplaces perspective? Let's take a look and ask all the dignitaries sitting over here what has been their experience of launching their brands and getting the brands on the marketplaces. So let's start with Kapil first. Kapil, I want to know from you, what was your strategy behind introducing your brand Power Gummies on various marketplaces? How has it helped you grow your brand over there?
First of all, we started understanding the consumer need analysis. And after that, we started with D2C first, then pivotizing it to the demand session of demand per se of consumers. Going to various marketplaces, including Amazon, Flipkart, etc., etc. And then right now, we are going for quick commerce as well. So A is consumer need analysis is important. Second is understanding the consumer persona and matching it to the driving factors of the marketplaces. Why consumer is coming on the marketplace, what is driving it, and what your proposition, your product proposition is for the consumer. That is our center of strategy.
There are some products which requires pre-sales assistance and maybe post-sales some assistance in terms of some kind of assistance. Now platforms like Amazon, how do they support such assistance which is required for such products? Or Amazon is not the right platform, or the marketplaces are not the right platform for such products? What's your take on it? So
take the example of hearing aid, and I know it would not be the right way to use that particular specific medical device
Absolutely.
to kind of extrapolate for all the products that sell on Amazon. But we have a seller partner network. As Amazon, we say that you focus on your core competency, which is manufacturing that hearing aid. We'll connect you with teams who are competent enough to get the compliance part sorted. You'll have, like with electronics, you have a 220 volt charger in India for most of the products. In the US, it's 110 volts. In the pin changes from a circular pin to a pointed pin. All these changes are there. The example that I gave of the ML to fluidic ounces, these are all the pre-sales kind of compliance related needs that we know that these challenges come. These are the requirements to sell in a particular country. So we help you connect with these teams who are more than competent in providing these services.
I think logistics is a very key part of e-commerce, because no matter where you buy, whether you buy on WhatsApp or Shopify or Amazon, eventually products have to move to the doorstep of the consumer, right? So it goes without saying that logistics ke bina e-commerce nahi ho sakta. Now, that being said, people are expecting faster logistics as consumers. Sellers are expecting cheaper logistics, and it all needs to be automated and connected in a workflow. So I think it's very important to stay abreast with what's happening.
I think the vision behind this conclave is to get all the ecosystem players together on a forum because e-commerce has now become mainstream. We know everything is going digital. Everybody wants to sell online, whether it's a traditional brand or an upcoming D2C startup. So we wanted to make sure to get all the best brains, not just the ecosystem players, but also brands who have been able to build successful large online businesses together to share their strategies, insights, and even challenges that they have faced in scaling online businesses.
The second panel highlighted the key factors on how to build brand loyalty amongst the young aspirational consumers.
When we spoke, you mentioned that how you have been innovating for last 10 years and keeping your customers loyal, maybe far more than the categories in which you operate in. So for example, you are maybe 35-36%, but the category may be operating in 22-25%. So can you tell us the Raj kya hai is baat ka?
Sir, everything starts from product creation, right? So if selling comes, at a very later stage, तो जब एक product को हम create कर रहे हैं, so there are 3 basic tenets, that I feel are very important. कि हम क्या बनाने वाले हैं, हम किसके लिए बनाने वाले हैं, और वो उसकी क्या problem solve करेगा. अगर हमारे को ये 3 points का अगर हमारे को clarity है ना, and that is the only way, you can create, if you're trying to create a brand, like I'm talking about my early days, when, we used to sell cases at, probably 800, 900 or 1,000 bucks. We used to get a lot of people, like, from marketplaces, कि अच्छा marketplaces पे रोज के 50,000 cases बिकते हैं 199 rupees में. तो बहुत बड़ी market है वहाँ पे. Amazon पे भी 50,000 बिक रहे हैं, Flipkart पे भी 50,000 बिक रहे हैं. But the point is that, if you do not have the clarity of what you are trying to create, who you are trying to create it for, and what is the solution that you are trying to build for your customers, right? Then, you will go all over the place. And then, there is no reason to, brand loyalty or for brands to stick to you. अगर आप ही अपने vision के साथ stick नहीं कर रहे हो, आपको ही नहीं पता है कि आप कहाँ जा रहे हो, किसके लिए कर रहे हो, when you have that clarity, then, things start falling in place.
How can data-driven insights help us, help the audience to make them loyal? Young aspirational customers is loyal.
I think that's a fantastic question. First of all, I think coming from a background of engineering and consulting, there's an old adage that I've learned, which is in God we trust, everyone else must bring data, right? But
Mr. Murthy said, वैसे.
Yes, but when we say that, data has 2 sides to it, right? Data can be noisy, or you can just make sure that, you have something, you have a data which you can use to actually make decisions. Now, if I look at it from 2 sides. I look at it from a business side, which is how can it help me in my business? And is it a purely marketing objective that I need to meet through data, right? And when I go there, for me, a lot of market intelligence can be built through data for you. Today's marketer, if you ask any of the marketers here, they'll say, what's the biggest problem you can solve for them? They'll say, our resources are limited, right? I have this much marketing budget. But how do I allocate? And the inventory that channels are there for me is about 100x my budget, or even 1000x my budget. How do I allocate that? And that's where data can actually help you simplify things for you across each of the marketing funnel.
I hope you got to learn a lot from the story of what Saurav and Harshit have been able to do. You've been able to learn about how, Anuradha has been able to scale from offline to online. And with Anshuk and Bakar, for both AdYogi and Upriver, amazing job what they have been doing to help each one of you. And thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. You are mother of all. Thank you so much, everyone.
The third panel provided an insight into finding the right D2C strategy.
Getting the traffic is one challenge, but once they're on your website, it's a lot of science after that, getting them to actually click on the buy button, more so click on the checkout button, and more so actually take the parcel if it's on a cash on delivery order. So I would straight away go to Siddhant. Siddhant, how would you solve for conversion? Assuming the customer is now on your website or your landing page, etc.
I basically break this down into a few steps. First and most important is to get the product right? Because you have to understand who you're building for, right? Once you get the product right, I think you have to then figure out ways to then go after that target customer. And these days, platforms like Google, Facebook, all of them allow you to really, really target, right? And that's how you'll actually end up saving money and lowering your CACs, right? So being very conscious about that. Once the visitor's on your website, then it's about merchandising. So really making sure that all that you've thought about from a brand story perspective, that's coming through on your website. Your products have been merchandised well. All the information is there. There's a lot of technical, features that we provide for you to be able to do that on Shopify. So meta tags, etc., ensuring that your search and discoverability is optimized. All of that needs to be done.
I wanted to come back to you, Smita. One company that I know has done it very well. We had a S23 launch, I think. Yeah. So you want to talk about what does it mean to Samsung, right? The omni-channel experience.
Yeah. So anyways, for Samsung, DTC means online and offline. It has never been online as a part of vision. It was always online plus offline, which has started as a concept of DTC for Samsung. And for us, we did a very detailed study of how my consumer is moving, and across different phases, whether it starts the discovery, purchase, fulfillment, or any phase, consumer is just shifting between online, offline. So for me, it was very critical that as a brand, I should stand as one brand across my offline as well as online retail channel. What happens if a consumer goes to my retail store and says that, oh, look, their online channel is selling something which is very different at the price, the offers that's very different there. So for us, DTC was all about bringing the two together. It's just like, and for us, the fulcrum of bringing the two together is the app. The app you hold is the app one where you go to a shop, you get the app experience, you can do everything on the app within the retail store. You come back to an online, you do a purchase, all the purchases are being tracked in the app, so that app becomes the fulcrum for the consumer.
The final discussion of the conclave was all about marketplace operations and how brands can carry them out.
Let's understand from Chandrasekhar that how companies like JioMart are making resellers' life easy, and how they can grow their business from, let's say, 1 lakh rupees to 1 crore. What JioMart is doing and what other marketplaces will be doing to attract resellers.
So for the last 2 years, all of us have been working from home, thanks to COVID. And currently organizations are thinking of having this policy to return back to office. Some of us like it, some of us don't like. But I have some good news for the sellers who are very interested today. So your life is going to be sell from home forever. Right? So that's how easy it is to set up your business and run it forever on a platform like JioMart, right? Like not only on JioMart, but on any other e-commerce platform, right? So you don't need to have any technical skills, right? And everything is plug and play. So you can just think of what all you need to do if you want to set up a physical shop, right? Like you need a place, you need a product, and you need to create the demand. You need to generate those footfalls who will come to your shop to buy something, right? So now a e-commerce platform like JioMart can do everything for you. So what is the place where you will sell? It is a platform that you choose, right? Like it can depend on what kind of customers that you want to generate, and you can go with the platform that you want, right? Like which will cater to those footfalls onto your products. Then you need to set up your products in the display, right? So that is about cataloging, which the other panel member has spoken about, right? Like it's really important and it's very easy. Right, like you just need to have the product details, like the product title, the product description, its dimensions, the warranty information, etc. Just fill it into simple Excel sheets and then upload it onto any platform, and then the rest is taken care of at the back end. So your business can become functional in a span of 3 to 4 days only.
A company has built a brand, taken to multiple marketplace models, to get customers move from other marketplaces to the brand. So it's a reverse movement of customers and using the loyalty that marketplaces have created with the product category to your brand. So it's a good example.
Another example is of a hair removal, hair removal spray product. Now, it's a very innovative product. It's a new category. So it's basically difficult to, get customers who is not really looking to buy a hair removal spray to your website and convert. Rather, it's important to build, your brand in this category on the platform like Amazon, Flipkart, where there is already, customers who are buying some of these very innovative products.
Very thank you to all of you for sharing your experience, how resellers can, take advantage of marketplace, what do's and don'ts they should follow. We hope that this session has helped you, in your journey to become resellers. Thank you so much.
It's a wonderful conclave. Like if we take about, say, like in today's world, like D2C brands, they are selling online also, offline also, in online marketplaces, e-commerce, their retail stores, and the distribution also. So in this conclave, they are covering everything. They are giving the full bouquet.
I think eBay has been around for a very long time, right? And we support businesses no matter what their size, big or small. As an enabler, what we tell our sellers is, what is it that you really can sell globally? What's the opportunity? What's the demand? And then therefore, it's up to the sellers to come onto the platform, experience that. Along the way, we also support them with whatever is needed to ship their product. How do they go about their compliance, right? Those are things that make a difference when you talk about cross-border e-commerce. So that's what our journey is, and that's what we are hoping we can enable more and more small and large businesses in India.
People say that the growths are slowing down. I would say the opposite. The industry is growing at minimum 30 to 35% CAGR on an annual basis. Lifestyle as a segment is becoming big. There are millions of customers, in fact 200 million customers who are more to come online, and that too predominantly from Bharat, and that's where I think everybody should be focusing on. That's the growth story.
It's really interesting to learn from experts and people who've been experienced in the e-commerce industry, who've built the e-commerce industry in the last decade in India. Their highs, their lows, and how they've transformed as the e-commerce industry has transformed. So you get to learn from what they face, their challenges, and I think you can avoid a lot of mistakes by listening to just people who are more experienced.